Ah, yes, another good day to play War Thunder. Right, listed Minecraft. Oh, hang on, we shouldn't be showing you this. Quick, open Steam. And it's a great day to play War Thunder. Logging in. We're going to do some War Thunder today. Who knows? Let's see what we can do, what we can achieve. I'm not entirely sure what to do, though. That's the problem. Like, every time I launch the game, I just want to do random things. Okay, now that everything's loaded in. I don't know, what do I do today? Oh, have you seen the Type 65? Also known as the fucking T-34, as I like to call it. You swear at it, I know it's Hong Kong, or something along those lines, do forgive me. Hey, Oddballs is playing War Thunder. And this thing was a Hellcat destroyer back in the day. Essentially just an anti-air platform. You know, rip out the turret. Extremely light, extremely maneuverable. It's good fun, I like this one. Anyway. Of course, we've been having a bit of fun recently with the FJ4B. This thing is quite expensive on the marketplace. In fact, I'm not entirely sure how expensive it is. VMF 232. But I've got to show you this. I'm going to show you my Australian Navy camouflage on the A4 early. And its gun pod derivatives on the Squadron A4. Pretty cool, right? I guess, if you're into that kind of thing. Italy. What am I working on in Italy, tanks-wise? Again, this is kind of just a bit funky. I've got the Cargo Medium Sherman VCs. I've got the Sherman Firefly to go yet. Orbital, etc, etc, etc. I already have the automatic, it's 10.3. I do have the Orbital 75. Again, I'm not looking forward to going through those higher tiers here. Should be a bunch of fun, but again, I'm kind of lacking. I think France is really the only nation for me to really have progressed into rank 5. It's the only nation where I've got high enough where I can just see early level entry, top tier stuff, and everyone plays, you know, the little clerks and their AMX-40s, whatever. Oh yeah, there's the, this thing, the marketplace, or should I say, weird Subias. I forgot this thing existed. It's got an extra 20mm gun. That's, I think, one of the major differences between it and the regular AMX-50. And on the marketplace, it's incredibly expensive because only a few of them were ever handed out. Yeah, there's discounts on premium stuff as well. We'll have a look at that later. I still haven't got the Lorraine 37L. Oh my god. I don't think I've ever seen something so stupid. I forgot this thing existed. Wasn't this one of the first devlogs for the start of, what, a couple of patches ago last year? Not entirely sure. A crew of 4. Okay. Armor. What armor? The gun is basically your armor there. Same with the tracks. What a meme machine. I'm gonna have to unlock that one. AMX M24. I still reckon this thing should be in the regular tech tree. I'm not really a fan of it being a premium vehicle per se. But it is what it is. It's an AMX turret. Should I say chassis with a M24 turret on the top. Perfect for light tank duties and armoured operations, especially securing your colonial empire that spans Africa. There you go. But yeah, no, France is really my highest nation. And Sweden, we don't talk about Sweden. I haven't really progressed much into them. Aviation-wise, I'm done with Sweden. Like, I really enjoyed Sweden as a whole. And, you know, Britain's done. Every nation is basically done. I've only got 2 aircraft left to unlock, that being the F4C Phantom II and the F4E Phantom II. So those 2 aircraft are going to be particularly interesting to play, and also I've got to purchase the rest of these aircraft just here, but, you know, it is what it is. And, you know, I'm having a great deal of fun with the F8-2. Gotta have an obligatory make face. There you go. Alright, let's go down to rank 4. I want to shoot it with possibly one of the biggest tanks that I know of. Where is it? Give me the Dirt Wagon. Or is it rank 3? Can't be rank 3. Tortoise. There it is. 183mm hash. Fantastic. Oh, I'm going to show you what this little float plane though. I have to show you. That's the... Oh, for those of you who didn't know, the CR-42s and some of the Italian stuff got added into the German territory. Originally, when Italy was first in the game, essentially it was put in as vehicles in their own line in the German tech tree, and ultimately they got their own tech tree in the end. But they're now considered rare exclusives, and there are a couple of vehicles that I'm missing from this lineup. There is 2 SM-79s which have been blacklisted for some reason. I can't request them as a content partner. I have no idea necessarily why, but I've got most of the vehicles in that lineup. In the same sense that there is a couple of Year 2s, there is a couple of other vehicles that are in the game, but are actually not present for players to, you know, available to use. Now, I have to just show you this. Okay. This is the Arado 196. No armor protection on this vehicle. Yeah, I wonder why. Let's shoot at it. Let's shoot at it with a battleship, why don't we? Armor modifications. Yeah, we've already had a look at the modifications. We've done that twice now. Alright, we're gonna switch to... Why can't you switch to Navy? I want to be able to switch to Navy. What has another derp fucking... KV2, that's rank 3, isn't it? Where is it? KV220? No. KV1. KV2 is 6. Is it really rank 2? I don't think it was rank 2. D34s? No, I can't say. It must be blind. Looking through the list. Yeah, that's the only KV2 that's there. Well, I don't necessarily mind. Let's shoot it with a shell, shall we? See what happens. Goodbye, gunner. Right, let's see what happens if I shoot him in the side like this. Boom. The pilot gets minimal damage, but the gunner is down. Also, I have to show you this. I tell you what. That's more worth it than anything. Welcome to the Might Goes Boom JJ the jet plane. Do you see the reference there? This is JJ the jet plane, except with Might Goes Boom's face. I love it. Decal placement on this thing is superb. Let's get this nice grainy filter on. I can even take a couple of screenshots while we're at it. Let's take a couple of screenshots right about there. That's beautiful. Utterly beautiful. Obviously it's got this nice skin and I've got the Badger decal on the back. But yeah, I have a thing for float planes. Let me show you this one. This one I've had for years, and it's one of my earliest videos on the channel. You can go look that up if you want. If you want a bit of cringe and watch some Ash stuff, actually, like, comment, and subscribe. Because, essentially, I'll be going over some of my older videos, and I want to be able to do that as a part of a 40k celebration. I think that'd be fun. You know, I haven't quite hit 40,000 yet, it's slowing down a little bit. Mind you, YouTube isn't necessarily recommending my content anyway, which is a bit of a fun one. Anyway. Oh, this thing is such a fun little machine. You know, the floats make all the difference. You know, the floats stay on during set. You get what I mean, right? Okay? Battle Ready 1.0 with 7.92mm machine gun times 2 with 1,000 rounds, so 500 per gun. This thing isn't exactly lethal, but its meme value is the fact that it can land and the floats can rip off and basically do anything you want. So if I go and shoot floats, there's nothing installed in the floats. There's no extra fuel. Unlike the Arado 195, which has most of the extra fuel inside the pontoons, this has everything inside the vehicle itself. Let's have a look at its X-ray. The fuel tank's in here. Self-sealing, directly underneath the pilot. It's not in the wings, and its low center of gravity means that it's quite easy to try and actually fuel the engine up. Doesn't have to go too far. There would be a little pump that would drain this tank out and power this BMW V12. Not bad. Not bad. It's kind of cute. I love it. I love it. Something about float planes. I really wish War Thunder had more access to float planes. There are some fantastic Italian biplanes, fantastic float planes from Italy. Hell, there's a lot of nations utilised float planes. Hell, it was a massive thing into war as well, so maybe we'll see some of that in the future, I don't know. But again, this is one of my favourite vehicles. Let's have a look at USSR. Because they have some of the other interesting vehicles, as you see right here, speaking of float planes. If you haven't seen one of these things before, this is the MBR-2. Now, during the April Fool's event, the Sky Tales, or whatever it was called, or Toon Thunder or whatever, you could fly one of these things. Essentially, it was dressed up as a goose, and remove the bombs, you got some really funky pylons underneath here for 2 miniguns. Put the engines further out on either side, and you have yourself as close as possible to what was actually a vehicle in the Sky Tales, or whatever it was called, cartoon from the 90s, which I never really got to play, but this thing is a beast and a half. Quite like this one. And then there is, obviously, one of my other favourites, the I-180S. Now, this thing used to be quite controversial. In fact, it still is to me. This aircraft retains the same flight model statistic-wise as the old Boomerang flight model. So, when the Boomerang was nerfed, and it was really hit hard, it's still a good aircraft, and don't get me wrong here, but this was years ago. A couple of years ago, just after this aircraft's introduction. This was a part of a build-a-thon, I think, actually. It was the Object 279 build-a-thon event. But yeah, this thing still has the flight model of the old Boomerang, which means it's absolutely beautiful. Obviously the engine overheats too much, but it doesn't have any of the control issues, it doesn't have any of the weight issues, it doesn't overheat to the point where it explodes its engine directly after takeoff, kind of overheat issues. And it doesn't have control issues like the actual Boomerang doesn't have in the real world. I've been meaning to put forward a case to sort of, you know, put the numbers in front of the developers, but hey, the Boomerang Mark 1 and Mark 2 only differ slightly due to modifications has changed. They had new oil, new filters, new gaskets, a different set of controls in terms of cockpit layout and array. They had a Porcupine flame-proof exhaust, there is different wing tips, and a bunch of other control surface stuff. So, the improvement to speed should be about 100 horsepower between the Mark 1 and Mark 2, and the Mark 2 should actually have a 250-pound, or 250-kilogram bomb strapped to the bottom of it, or 4 50-kilogram bombs, which could be either smoke or actual bombs. So, you know, the Boomerangs were flown in support of New Zealand Corsairs, and they're called Smoky Joes. But this thing has the old flight model of the bastard, and I will never forget this. And it's just sort of one of those vehicles that you just sort of go, I don't know. What else have we got in here? What could be interesting to possibly do a video on? How can you forget? Give love to the Russian rocket aircraft. Did a video on this one recently. This thing's an utter ball of fun. They changed the flight model on this one too. It sort of locks up, but doesn't necessarily respond, as it would, because you know, you don't really have a lot of elevator authority right there, let alone rudder. When the rudder is bigger than the elevator combined. Suffice to say, this thing has an extremely limited fuel capacity, to the point where it's utterly useless. But it does have a beautiful grey camouflage, which I do want to pick up at some point. What do I need for that one? Players defeated 430. Bloody Nora, that's quite an interesting one. There's no modifications on that one. Yeah. What else have we got? Oh, speaking of rare aircraft, have any of you got one of these things? This is a D521. Now, there is a British D520, but there is not a strange French, you know, event vehicle like this one. I can't necessarily remember how long ago it was. I've played the game for so long, but this vehicle on its own is probably one of the rarest vehicles in-game. It's got 20mm and 7.5mm machine guns times 4, so there's only 60 rounds for the Hispano. But this thing has one of the most highly decorated cockpits, or should I say highly detailed cockpits, for its time. And it's probably the best vehicle out there. At least in its heyday. Nowadays you don't see them very often at all. It's very rare that you see an aircraft at low tiers anyway. Mind you, what's stopping you from just playing high tier all the time? You know, low tier is a little bit dead in some regard. A little bit of fun, but hey, it is what it is. Oh, I was going to show you, where is my British... no. Switch to my air preset. I've got the Buccaneer loaded in my air preset. Probably one of the worst vehicles ever, hey? Let's put the Boomerang in one slot and see what kind of skins I've got for these things. I should have a skin on Mark II. Oh, look at that. Why can't this be a marketplace camouflage, eh? Look at this beauty. This is Fui. I've featured this in multiple videos. In fact, I haven't done another Boomerang video for a while. As you can see here, we've got the Porcupine fireproof exhaust, as I was talking about earlier. Shut up, phone. And on the Boomerang Mark I, we have the A46. Now, that's the military designation. A little unknown fact to you. The Boomerang has VH-MHR. This very aircraft is an actual aircraft in real life. MHR is Suzy Q. The LB on the side, that is for another aircraft. So, they've mixed and matched. And A46 is the military designation. It should have a bunch of numbers. So if you're ever looking at a Boomerang, its markings are completely off. And the airframe, while looking good, isn't exactly historically accurate in either capacity. But hey, it is what it is. Cute little machine. Alright, let me show you the skin real quick. Because I have this one, the Ash Boomerang. Now, if you're familiar with my decal, and you're familiar with, well, not necessarily everything else, but if you're familiar with what my channel avatar and everything like this, you might recognize this aircraft. This is based off an actual Boomerang that flew. White nose cone, under wings, it's fantastic. Rear fuselage quarters and the tail control surfaces. And then you have a SH, although it should be AHS because that's actual squadron. SH is an actual squadron, so there you go, and there's my logo on the back. I thought that was kind of cool. Actually, holy shit. I've just realised I've done a 20-minute video of me sitting here looking at my hangar. If that isn't the most applicable War Thunder statement, I don't know what is. Anyway, I'm going to end this one here. I hope you enjoyed Hangar Simulator 2.0, because I'm sure there'll be more to come later down the line. Alright, enjoy.